Alright guys, we are in the shop. The 2022 racing season is officially over. We are about halfway through the off season right now. I've got all the cars behind me, as you can see. Little work area, all the cars. Here's the late model over there. We're going to go through what my off-season plans are. I've completed most of them already, but we'll go through that. We'll go through car by car exactly what we're going to be racing this season, and as well go over some of the goals for the different classes. We'll start off with the 12T Mudboss and talk about it for a little bit. So here we go. Alright guys, we are back on the workbench here, and this is my 12T Mudboss. It's the same one I raced last season. Went through the whole thing during the off season. Found a couple of bent shock shafts, broken arm. I'm trying to think of anything else we found wrong with it. Of course, I got a new body. That's why there's no body currently on here. The tires off. I did some tire prepping, getting them ready for the speed weeks here in February. I am getting a new body for this soon. Don't have one yet, but that's coming soon. That's about the only thing left to do on this one in the off season. A couple things I did do was go back through the transmission, all the bearings. I did move the electronics, as you can see here, from the stock location to the left side of the car. Trying to get a little bit more left side weight on these stock mud bosses. From what I understand, can help a little bit, so I tried to move the weight over there. All the bearings went through again, dropped some bearing oil in them, went through the transmission again. I did prep this transmission last season, right before the big race down there in Lil Cochran, the turkey run. So right before the turkey run, I did prep the transmission. I bought a professionally, or I guess you say professionally, broke-in 12-turn because I didn't realize how easy it was at the time. So from now on, we'll be breaking in our own. But right now, that one's only 2 races old, so we're going to keep it in there. Besides that, I think that's about it that I've done on the 12T. Like I said, we do have a body in the store for this one. I need to go down to Lil Cochran RC Hobbies and pick one up and see David pick up a Crazy Dave's body, I think is what he carries down there, so hopefully we'll get one of those here soon. Get her painted up, get some decals stuck on it, and get ready for speed weeks. So let's move on to the first new car I purchased during the off season, which would be the 12T late model. Alright guys, here is the 10.5 late model that I built during the off season. Did the body work, first time I ever did a body for myself, as far as cutting everything out and designing, I guess you'd say, a body, the color scheme and all that. We did an okay job for our first time. I think it looks pretty good. Let's get y'all a little closer, take a deep dive at the chassis and see what all we did. Alright guys, so this is the 10.5 late model. This is the first car in the off season that I decided I was going to build for the 2023 season. It is a slash LCG chassis. We are using the just stock 10.5 motor with the included ESC in the combo package. I did add if you can see it right here, this green wire. It's a longer sensor wire. The one that comes with that hobby wing is real tight to me. I wanted something with a little bit more play in it. We did add one fan on top of the motor. The rules allowed for that. We added some different body mounts. These are I think they're the Pro Line. Yeah, the Pro Line body mounts. I like them because they're not as flexible as the stock traxxas ones, like on the 12T. I hate them because it's aggravating getting a body onto me. But these are a little bit more thicker. The only thing I don't like about them really is they use a special type of screw down, which mine are in a box over here. That way I don't lose them. But to hold the body on, they twist down instead of having a body pin, which is cool. It's nice, but if you ever lose one of those things, I imagine it's a pain in the butt. Of course, we flipped the bumper upside down. We did cut the bumper. Put limiters in the shocks per the rules. We're allowed to do that at Lil Cochran, so limiters in the shocks. Right now I'm running a stock servo until that one gives out. It's fast enough and seems powerful enough for me. Being as new as I am to this, I don't know that I could tell a difference with a better one. Besides that, that's pretty much it. Y'all saw the body. The wrap was done by Carpies. The body I painted myself. I think I did an okay job for the first time, but we'll see how well it holds up. So this is the 10.5. This was the first car I decided to build during the off season. which ended up being a lot more eventful than I imagined. So let's get on to the next car that I decided to build, which is going to be the Buggy late model. Alright guys, this right here is my soon-to-be 17.5 Buggy late model. This was the first kit build that I ever completed. I was actually really excited about doing it and ended up really excited during it. It was something I enjoyed doing. Gives you a lot of confidence in something that you build from the ground up. This one does still have, I haven't assembled the battery tray. They're in a box over to my left here. I kind of just stopped right here because we got actually a burnout servo, just as a placeholder. We don't have any electronics yet. This one was going to be a slow build. I wanted to concentrate on stuff I could race now versus working on stuff as much in the off season. This is pretty much ready to go minus electronics. Of course, you know, getting a setup. I am going to put some limiters in here that I haven't done yet. Shout out to Ed Tucker for giving me a little setup help on that. Also shout out to Sean and David on the 10.5. They've given me some help on there as far as setup. If you look down here, this is why you don't over tighten things. Over tighten, there's a little pin, not a pin, but there's a little set screw and these hexes that I over tightened and stripped out, so we've kind of got a placeholder there until I get another one. But it was a learning experience. Building it out of a kit was definitely I think worth it. I think it was something I enjoyed doing. It was a learning experience. But I feel like Associated did a pretty good job. The instructions were pretty well wrote out, even up to the setup. You know, the kit setup versus racing options and that kind of thing was very well laid out. But this is going to be the 17.5 Buggy late model. I'm excited for it. It's a class that I, you know, whenever I first saw it, I thought it was a cool class. So excited to get into that this year. Like I said, this one's going to be a little bit slower of a build. I don't expect to race this one right away. I got other cars to worry about, but this was something that I wanted to build and get racing. So there's the 17.5 Buggy late model. And the next car we're going to talk about was kind of bought on a whim. A lot of the people that I started racing with at Lil Cochran, became friends with and everything. A lot of people run this class. I had thought about it, running it for a while, and decided to buy one. So let's take a look at the SR10. Alright guys, this right here is my SR10. So kind of a funny story. I've got an ongoing joke with David that every time I go to the hobby shop at Lil Cochran that I end up coming home with something I'm not supposed to. Kind of one of these situations. I had been looking at this class for a while. A lot of people race it. It's a fun class to watch. It looked like a fun class to drive in. Excuse me. It looked like a fun class to drive in. So I had been looking at them and actually before I built the 10.5 late model, it was going to be my first other car besides the 12-turn Mudboss. After thinking about it, I decided I want to build something different, something that wasn't straight out of the box. So I did build the 10.5, and then again we built the 17.5. But this one right here, this was something I wanted to do. It turned out, I've only practiced with it, but it was a lot of fun. So you can see the body here. It's not pinned down yet. I am missing the retainer. I broke it installing them. But the body, I just took a stock body and took pretty much every decal off except the front ones. I don't remember if I left anything on the rear or not. Yeah, I left the taillights on the rear. So just a stock SR10 body. When I had the 10.5 wrap printed, I had them print a sheet of numbers as well. I did have a feeling that I wasn't going to do wraps for every car this year, and turns out I think the only wrap I'm going to do is going to be the 10.5. I think I'm going to go just white painted bodies on the other ones. So it fit pretty well. Like I said, I hit the camera. So it went pretty well. I think, you know, it is a little dirty. Like I said, I did practice this, and it was a learning curve coming straight from the 10.5 this. And the 10.5 was a learning curve as well, coming straight from a 12-turn to a 10.5. It took me a couple batteries to get used to that 10.5, which is all fun. It's fun to have a lot more power. This thing's got more power, and is actually, to me, a lot more fun than a 12 turn even, and I think 12 turns really fun. But these cars right here, they have a lot of power for how little they are to me. They're fast little cars straight out of the box. So we'll go through and look what I've done to this one and go from there. Alright guys, so inside of the SR10 now, you can see this one is pretty much bone stock. They haven't really done anything to this as far as visuals can go. I did go through bearings just like I would on a 12 turn. I don't know that it's as necessary on these SR10s. I'm not sure. It might be. But I went through it just as precautionary and made sure there was no touching edges and rubbing or anything like that, and also oiled the bearings up with some bearing oil. I did put a bigger pinion gear on here. Put the biggest one, I think it's a 24 tooth, is the biggest one Lil Cochran allows. So put it on there. The receiver box top is off, but that's because we went in and of course turned off the driving assist, which is actually kind of funny. When I first bought this car, I took it out a couple days later when I took out the 10.5 for the first time and practiced it, and I came into the hobby shop and I said, David, you know, everybody talks about how hard these things are to drive. It was easy. And he kind of laughed and he said, well, turn off that driving help, and I didn't even know I had it, and turned it off, and it was a lot different story after that. But once you got used to it, it was a lot of fun to drive. I need to go through here and actually clean this one up. It's got a lot of dirt and dust on it still from the practice day I had at the track. These are, like I said, this is a really fun class to me. I loved watching everybody race it. So I decided I had to jump into it myself. So this year for 2023, we're definitely going to have a 12 turn, definitely going to have a 10.5 and an SR10 for the get-go. And then eventually somewhere down the line, we're going to add in the 17.5 late model. And I hope we have a good season. But those are the cars that we've had during the off season. So I'm gonna flip y'all. Ooh, one more thing. All right, guys. So this is the SR10 body again. I do have these YouTube stickers for the channel that I have on. I just got them last week, so I put them all on the cars. Just little ones. I didn't want anything super big or anything like that. But I did order them. I ordered them off a guy offline. I think they're pretty decent quality decals. It's not really these decals I want to talk about. So the guy I ordered them off of, super cool guy. We'll go ahead and grab this right here. So this right here is his company. It's called Hyperfix GG. It's down there in the bottom. I don't know if I can get the camera to focus, but it's down there. And this sticker was the one that kind of made me laugh. So it says, I don't just fly drones, I crash them too. So if anybody's seen my last video or was at the turkey run at Lil Cochran, y'all know that I crashed my drone in that last video. So that's pretty funny. He sent that along. I ended up messaging him asking him how ironic that was, and he said it wasn't necessarily ironic. That anytime somebody orders these decals from him, he goes onto their channel and tries to find something a little creative to give, you know, for the freebie giveaway. So I thought that was really cool. I don't know exactly, I haven't took it off this card yet. It's pretty stuck on there, but we'll get it off. Yeah, it just got some hot glue on the back, or something tacky. I don't know if that's hot. Yeah, it's not hot glue, but anyway, I think I might put it on the drone or the drone case. I just thought it was really cool. We'll stick it back on there for now. But that's something funny I wanted to share with y'all. I thought it was really cool that that guy went the extra mile to include something kind of personal. So if y'all need any decals, I think he does YouTube channel decals and Instagram, Facebook. I think he does all that. You can check him out right down there. Like I said, Hyperfix GG. Pretty cool dude. So, alright guys, that is pretty much it for this video. The only other thing I want to go over is kind of my 2023 goals. So, we started this hobby in 2022 thanks to Lil Cochran RC Speedway. He opened up not far here from my hometown. So, when he opened, I got into the hobby and quickly fell in love with it. I didn't really have any goals going into it. But now that I've raced a couple races and been in the one big event, I do have some goals for this next season, and that's just to get better and more consistent in everything, especially 12 turn. That's where I started at. I'd like to do good in that class, so I need to get more consistent, find a little speed, but it's just staying out of trouble and being consistent in that class. speed will come, I think, with the learning and being more consistent and being there every time I can. So that's the big thing with the 12 turn, is just making sure that I one, don't put myself in harm's way, and two, just try to avoid as many incidents as possible. A lot of guys in 12 turn are new, just like myself, so there tends to be a little bit more hectic of a race. But that's not saying they don't race good. I mean, I've seen some guys turn a 12 turn around a track that make you jaw drop. So with 12 turn, I just want to be more consistent and get more speed along with more experience in that. All right, so for the 10.5 late model, my goal for the 10.5 is actually just to run it. I don't really have a whole lot of expectations in that class. Obviously, I'd like, again, to find speed, be consistent, that kind of thing. But it's a new class, so I haven't ran anything in there before, as well as anything other than the 12 turn. I haven't ran any of these cars on the track with other people yet. So a lot of these are going to be just trying to find consistency. And then with the SR10, it's kind of the same thing. It's being consistent with the SR10. I think one of my big things with that is just learning how to drive that car. So looking at people race these cars, they do look like a bit of a handful. So once I get that figured out, and once I start racing, I think my main goal is just to be consistent and race like I want to be raced. I don't want to be a guy out there that's cheap shotting everybody or anything like that, and just have fun. I mean, that's what this is all about. And when it comes down to it, these are toy cars. It does get serious, and there's a lot of money in this, but it's just for fun. I mean, that's the cool thing about it. You get out and you have fun, and man, it sucks you broke or something during the race, but that's a lot of fun to have for $3 part. It does suck when that happens wrong. I don't want to break when I'm out either, but it's a lot of fun, and I just want to experience it. I just want to learn, have fun, get faster. I'm sure as much fun as I have while I'm slow, I'm sure it's even more fun when I'm a little faster. So that's pretty much it. With the 17.5, I don't have a goal in mind at all for that class. A lot of those guys in 17.5 have been doing it for a while. There are some new guys that run it too. But I think with the whole kit experience and as many options as there are to... I'm sorry if I'm looking off. I'm looking at the Buggy. As many options on setup as that car has, and as many changes as you can make to that car. My biggest goal for that is just get it going, get the electronics for it, and learn how to adjust that car. With the 12 turns and the 10.5s and the SR10s, with those being, especially the 12 turn and the SR10, those are box stock classes pretty much. There's not a whole lot you can adjust, So those classes, I've pretty much learned the adjustments. I just haven't learned when to make the right one yet, but I know what I can do. On the 10.5, there is a little bit more adjustment, especially with the shocks. You do get limiters and stuff like that. But other than that, and you get a little bit of tinkering with the motor. You can control punch and drag brake and that kind of thing. But another big thing that's going to be with the 10.5 and the Buggy late model is having a bigger controller. So I've got the Futaba. Let me see what it is. Give me a second. So I've got the Futaba T4 PM. You can see it right there. So this is my new radio that I bought when I bought or built the 10.5. So as you can see, I don't know if you can read it, glare, but it's got the 10.5 on there right now. This thing is kind of crazy, and when I switched over from a traxxas, whatever they call them, TQ radios, the cheap traxxas radio that you come with when you buy Slash and 1,000 other different traxxas models. Yeah, you can only adjust trim, and on this thing, it is actually pretty insane how much you can change and how that affects it. I sat here for a couple hours one night and learned this whole radio. So I went through all the settings, and I would change something drastically one way, drastically the other way, and then back in the middle, and see how that affected what it did. I would just drive it around the shop real slow. I didn't really ever get on it, but pretty cool. I really dig this radio. It still does a lot of things that I don't know how to do yet, but I've got most of the functions figured out on it, which is pretty cool. So that's that. That's another thing I want to do this year is better figure out this radio. But that's pretty much it. So the 2023 season is upon us. It is January 11th, second night of Chili Bowl, RC and Real Chili Bowl. I've been watching a lot of the Real Chili Bowl. I've watched both nights of it, and boy, both nights have put on some racing. All right, so that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all for the 2023 season. That's what we got going. We got a couple more things to do in the shop, but not much. We need to get that 12-turn body painted and put some decals on it. Everything else is pretty much ready to go. Do some body cleaning, some tire prep, and we'll head out to Lil Cochran here in a couple weeks for our second big race, which is kind of cool. Mr. David is doing a pretty awesome thing over at Lil Cochran. So if you're in the area, you know, come down, give us a look. You can find him on Facebook. I'll try to put the link in the description. I don't know how to do that, but it's a thing YouTubers do, so I feel like I should do it. But yeah, we'll try to put a link in the description. If not, just search Lil Cochran on Facebook. He's up there. He's a great guy, owns it. But if you're in the area, we're having a big Speedy Week coming down in February, first week in February. Go on his Facebook page. All the details are on there. So all the classes going to be ran, all the rules. Go on there, check it out. It's going to be a 2-day event. I think a Friday and a Saturday with 3 qualifiers. I think you're going to drop the lowest qualifier. That could be wrong on that. I know that's how it was ran at the turkey race. Matt Murphy, Murph Dog, coming down to direct the race. He directed the race in November, and it went flawless. So I'm excited to get, you know, Murph Dog back at Lil Cochran. Pretty cool. I follow him on Facebook. He's at Chili Bowl this week. So we'll see him in a couple weeks for the race and have him direct it. He did a good job last time, so I think he'll do another good job this time. That's pretty much it, guys. Thank y'all for watching. These things are getting kind of a lot more views than I ever imagined. So a lot of people who view these videos aren't even associated with me in any way. So if you're here and you've never met me and don't know where I'm at, in Georgia, Lil Cochran RC Speedway is where I started racing. These RC cars, I started racing back in, I don't know, first race Lil Cochran ever had, so I'm thinking that's sometime in September, I think. I could be wrong on that. And I've quickly fell in love, as you can see. I got 4 cars now, and a whole section of my shop dedicated to this, and a whole shelving system and work table, and yeah, it quickly got out of hand, but I love it, so it's fun. But if you're not from the area and you come to Georgia and want to RC race for any reason, make sure to check out Lil Cochran. There's some great tracks in the area. Not just Lil Cochran. There's some other really good tracks I haven't got the chance to go to yet, but I've heard really good things. We'd love to have you for the Speed Weeks. I'm sure Mr. David wouldn't object to some more people coming. So if you don't know who I am, if you've never heard of Lil Cochran and you found this video by chance, come to Georgia. We're doing a Speed Weeks. There's going to be people from all around. It's looking like it might be bigger than the turkey run we had in November. And if it is, that'll be great. But even at the turkey run, I met people from multiple states, even my home state of West Virginia. I met some guys from, and it's going to be a good time. Maybe we won't wreck the drone this time, and maybe we'll do a little bit better than a second on the B main. So until next time, guys, thank y'all for sticking around. Thank y'all for watching. Appreciate it if you click the subscribe button. It's kind of cool to see people subscribe and stick around for the videos that are going to come. So if you like them, give me a like, subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next one. Thank you.